Good. All right, what's going on, Secoya Nation? Dr. Schilling bringing you today's wellness wisdom, and we're talking about seizures today. If you're not familiar with seizures, if you've ever seen someone lose consciousness, have a grand mal seizure on the floor, or just an absence seizure where they just kind of stare off into space, we all have a absence, not a seizure, but an absence withdrawal at some points when we go into theta brainwaves. When you go into a full-on grand mal seizure, even a petit mal seizure, you're basically looking at the brainwaves that are super high activated, high beta, and the brain's just getting all overstimulated. You've got things like glutamate, the neuroexcitatory toxin glutamate, things like that. That goes into this. Our purpose is not to dive into the neurochemistry or things like that. It's to give you a perspective as what might be causing your brain to get to the point where it says, I got to get out of here, it's too much stress, and then it goes into sort of an absence seizure, like your body's doing the spasm because it wants to get out of there. It's activating the motor cortex and things like that. So when your brain gets confronted with a situation that feels impossible, it's like, I feel powerless, I can't change this, it's immovable, it's untenable, I can't change it, then you might go into a seizure. If you're feeling like, I'm so stressed out, I can't meet the expectations that are placed upon me or forced upon me, I feel like I can't perform, then your body can go into seizure. If you're feeling like there's pressure, there's control around you, it's like this invisible enemy, like you're in a culture at work or somewhere else where it feels like there's people not out for your best interest, but you can't really put your finger on them, and it feels like that pressure, it feels like it's like this thing you can't fight against because you don't even know what direction it's coming from. That can also trigger something like that because you can't fight something you can't see. Okay. When you feel unable to perform and you can't say something about it, that can then be like some type of, they can think of a horrific situation where you just feel like, I don't know who to say something to do. I don't even know if I can perform. Again, it all comes back to this immense amount of pressure that people feel under, and then their nervous system goes into seize. Okay? If you find yourself or someone you know that has a seizure that feels like they have this immense amount of pressure and they can't perform, this is commonly the theme that goes along with it. Some people have a fear of death or a fear that they're not able to accomplish something before their death. That can also trigger something like that. It's like this urgency. Once again, it all comes back to urgency. If you're in your space and someone else is occupying your space, so like this is territorial conflict is what the German New Medicine describes it as, and you can't separate yourself or you can't take over your space again from this, either it's invisible enemy or it's someone you are aware of that's occupying your space and doesn't allow you to have control your territory, that's what this is can cause, that super amplification of the brain gets all overwhelmed and then just shuts down because it says, too much excitement, I got to shut it down. Last but not least, if you think about feeling controlled, if you feel like someone's got their thumb on top of your head and they're just constantly pushing you down and controlling you and forcing you to do something you don't want to do or not letting you be who you want to be, if your nervous system doesn't have an outlet for that, it's just gonna like diffuse. It's gonna dwindle and fade because it just can't handle that much stimulation and that much pressure and that much resistance at one time. So taking these into consideration for yourself and for the people you know. I've had people that I've worked with have seizures. Been on a bus on the way to work, people had seizures. Apparently something with work, I guess. I've had people that come for help with seizures at work for the clinic. So it's something that I'm aware of, and we work with people all the time. There are certain lifestyle things, dehydration, overconsumption of alcohol or drugs, things like that can cause, the nervous system to get overloaded. So you have to be willing to take lifestyle changes into account when you're considering seizure disorder and things like that. But usually, it is predominantly a result of the immense amount of stress people feel under. So figure out where the stress is coming from, do what you can to address it. If not, if you need to escape from the situation, do that. But hope to shed some light on seizures and it's not a seizure disorder, but just the seizures in general, and you can understand it better. And let us know what you think. Let us know if this helps and what other information we can provide for you, okay? So let us know. All right, have a great night. Bye-bye.